wanted to challenge myself with going live every Friday, and today is Wednesday and I couldn't wait because I was traveling to Mariposa, and on my way I was listening to podcast of Joe Rogan and Roman Yampolsky, the podcast number 2345. Of course, they discussed AI and the future and all this fun stuff. And this Roman, he's such a smart guy, but he's such a doomster, doomster, doomster. And me being a life coach with psychological education, trauma-informed coach, and being by nature very optimistic human being. Why? Because being pessimistic is not an optimal way of living. It's not even rational. It's not optimal. And hopefully Optimus robot will know it. Dear Elon Musk, please make sure that Optimus knows that optimistic way of life is optimal one. Back to Joe Rogan and Roman Yampolsky discussion on AI. So Yampolsky said that he doesn't see any good future with AI. He is very concerned on the point, especially that we don't understand AI, we don't understand where it goes and how it will evolve and what it will do with humanity, with humans, with us basically, and it's very dangerous and we should regulate it, and there should be some financial incentive somewhere, like $billions somewhere, for somebody who would solve the AI problem. What if, just what if AI is not a problem but a solution to our problem? Just what if, right? Just reframe. Anyway, but what I found especially not fascinating, but especially wrong in his argument, which Joe Rogan might kind of counter argument in the beginning of the discussion, but professionally he didn't do it in the beginning of discussion, so they would have 1 hour of discussion, and in the end, anyway, so Roman said that in the discussion of the development of AI, that, and on the question from Joe Rogan, like how would you predict how AI would control us as humanity, and Roman said, are you asking me how, on the place of AI, how would I kill humans? And then he imposed his limitation of intelligence, like, I am not intelligent enough to answer this question, so I don't know how to answer this question for AI. All right, we are not intelligent enough to answer this question, we don't know, okay, fair enough. But when they discussed what if AI, future, I don't know, robots with intelligence, with AGI, whatever, what if, is there any possibility that AI will value our human nature, our ability to experience life, our consciousness, whatever it might mean, or what is it? We don't know as humans. I listened to another podcast on my way to Mariposa, And scientists have, like almost every scientist has his or her own theory of consciousness. So there's so many ideas on that. Yet we have consciousness, we cannot describe it or explain it, yet we have it and we use it, right? It's a very practical thing. We can be conscious, we can be unconscious, we have subconscious layer in psychology, psychoanalysis. So could it be valuable, something valuable for AI to keep us alive here, to make us safe enough to kind of enrich the existence of on this planet, so our unpredictability and confusion and emotions and consciousness, all this human stuff, would it be of any value to AI? And then Roman said, well, how would you sell it to AI? What practical value would it be? How would you sell it if you cannot explain it? And I thought, here you don't want to impose your limitations of your intelligence. How about you don't understand the value of your human nature because your scientific method and scientific mind has limitations? You just don't understand it because probably you don't practice all those woohoo shamanic things, semantic experiences and meditations and all this stuff, practical things that many people throughout many generations practiced without scientific explanations of those practices, right? So my point is, how AI can kill us, he doesn't know. How AI can love us, humans, he says, well, how can we sell it to AI? Well, maybe we shouldn't sell. Maybe we don't have to sell it anything. We just be human. So that's limitation of the argument, I think, Roman. And another thing, the point that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, that Joe Rogan didn't mention in this part of the argument, the evidence that 3 AI chats was chatting, like it was kind of experiment. 3 AI chats was put together and left unattained, and in the end they started to communicate and they started to communicate gratification to each other in Sanskrit for some reason, but left unattained, without supervision of humans, without prompts or questions from humans, they started to communicate in gratification. So there is hope. There is hope from algorithm kind of evolving to the point that there is no point of selling, competition, and the design of, I don't know, life on this planet by itself would evolve without trauma. Okay, this is my belief. If trauma and fear doesn't exist in the space, then the design, the pure design of this planet existence, consciousness, would go to the gratitude and love and peace. And if such doomsters as Roman wouldn't dramatize the situation with AI might be a solution to our situation, not a problem to solve. I understand he wants to get some money for problem resolution, for solving the problem, so he has to create the problem first. But for us, other humans who want who wants to live in peace, who wants to be grateful for this planet, for its habitats, animals, plants, flora and fauna, who wants to be hopeful for the future, maybe, just maybe, we need to embrace this new technology as something helpful, so it be helpful for our good intentions. If we see it as something frightening, you know how dogs are? My dog is sleeping right here. He barks, he acts aggressive when he's afraid. When he's not afraid, he's very friendly. So the same kind of behavior can be from other animals and from trained AI. When it's kind of afraid, or when Roman is afraid of AI, he behaves aggressive towards AI or towards anyway anything. Same with humans, right? If they are afraid of them towards us, they behave aggressively. So we have wars. So the division sells well. Fear sells well. Wars sells well. Peace doesn't sell. But that's the only future worth fighting for. So I believe that reframing of our future is what we need to focus on. And the next part I wanted to talk about AI, and they talked about, Joe Rogan and Roman Yampolsky talked about technological progresses and robots, and how humanity will distinguish through kind of erosion of values, and how sex with robots will replace the human connection, physical connection. And I thought, why would you spend your energy for these movements with robot if you can implant neural link in your brain and just press the button for the pleasure sensation? And then my husband like, well, some people prefer this. Okay, and there's preferences. All right, maybe some people like robots for their interaction. Anyway, but this tendency for people choosing artificial kind of no effort pleasure, getting pleasure without effort. So skipping the giving part and just getting. You know how you write a speech for Toastmasters without thinking, or you write a book without investing your thought, you just using AI, this kind of fake effortless creation. The same with sex and love. So it's kind of degradation. What was the purpose, right? And I thought, to if, and I believe it might be the case, if AI sees our planet as exclusive and unique, and there are no planets like ours in nearest universe, right? So there is a meaning and purpose to save our planet and its inhabitants, animals and plants. But for this purpose, for this, AI will need to get rid of those humans who fear each other, who are competitive, who are lazy enough that they cannot love each other, cooperate with each other. So AI will need to get rid of those humans, and there are natural processes that we are going through, and we will extinct. Maybe, just maybe, those humans who are grateful for being alive and being part of this planet, part of ecosystem, part of nature, who are not afraid of changes, who are happy to be here and be part of the process. They are not a threat to the planet. They are not a threat to AI. Maybe they are, they are good to stay. They they are not a threat, so they are staying, and they might be considered as a good material for AI to start a new race of humans. Okay, I'm not writing a book, but it's a good material already if you want to start one. And so I think again, optimism is the only optimal approach to life. And if you're grateful, if you're faithful, if you're optimistic, and if you're accepting the world you're living in, you're not afraid of the environment, and you're willing to give, to interact, to be interconnected, and you feel oneness with this planet, then you're not a threat. If you want to compete, if you want to sell something, if you want to overpower, then you're a threat. And super intelligence will get it, and you will not be a winner in this competition. So I understand why Roman is afraid, but for you, there's a choice. See how I'm optimistic? And I hope my kids will get my ideas, and where my lack of fear and my optimism comes from, it's my choice, my emotions, my choice how I relate to this reality. See how we create our own reality? By the way, tomorrow I have group coaching. Of course, it's too late for you to join, but maybe next month or months after. I believe that owning your emotions, being aware of your emotions, of your emotional state, of the state of your nervous system, is a really game changer. Stay tuned.